a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the show. Thank you so much for supporting the program, helping you win in any marketplace. That's been our mantra around here for over 10 years now. Can you believe August will be 11 years on air on the Consumer Quarterback Show? So real proud of the show, the people that we're helping, and what a great show. Just recently, we had a bunch of calls from Mark Hay interview talking about real estate investments, and real estate versus stock market. So thank you for supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and reaching out to the show hotline, and also had some calls for the magician that gave out tickets. So really cool really excited about that. So a lot of good things happening here. I want to give a shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill, but today we're going to have Commissioner Jack Mariano in studio with us, Pasco County Commissioner. District 5, which is a county-wide seat. We're going to talk about the growth in real estate, some of the cool sports tourism that's happening in Pasco County, and some other implementations of AI and some really cool things happening in that space as well. Anthony Rickman, always a crowd favorite, coming up as well. Criminal defense attorney Anthony Rickman on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we got a great lineup for you here, and want to give a shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill. That's the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Chef Oscar Ramirez. General manager is Joey, and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers. They offer free appetizers for anybody that goes in and just mentions the Consumer Quarterback Show. Tell them you're a fan of the show. You heard about them here. Brio Tuscan Grill. It's over at the International Plaza Mall, 2223 Northwest Shore Boulevard, and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. And we always feature our real estate listings. As you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked team, the Platinum MVP team. And we like to feature our listings live on air. It's part of a strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money. One of the highest list price to sell price ratios in all of Tampa Bay, helping you win in any marketplace. Hot listing here. 5642 Egret's Place in Newport Richey. You got a Mediterranean palace here. It's behind a gated community, a gated wall there. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 3,000 square feet, quarter-acre lot. You have a beautiful heated pool with a waterfall, pavers around it, multiple decks so you can walk out and just kind of enjoy the view. You have a water view across the street as well. You got a canal going out to the Gulf of Mexico. But Pasco County, beautiful property here, Newport Richey. 5642 Egret's Place, one of my favorite listings right now from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And I got a beach property for you here. Have you ever wanted to live on the beach? Well, this one is it. It's Gulf Boulevard, 18522 Gulf Boulevard. Gorgeous property right on the beach. 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet. And you have gorgeous views of both the Intercoastal Waterway, Tom Stewart Causeway. And if you look out to the left, you have, of course, the beach, the Pinellas County beaches right here. Sugar Sand Beaches, dolphin-filled waters at 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, Indian Shores. And you can see all of our real estate listings just by stopping over at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Jack Mariano, welcome back, sir.
Well, good morning.
Yeah, man. How you doing today?
Doing fantastic.
All right. Blessed and highly favored is what I always say. And, man, we are blessed here in Tampa Bay, one of the hottest real estate markets in all of the country, and one of the best places to live, work, and play for sure.
Yeah, we've got a great governor that's made it the place to be, and Tampa Bay is the #1 place that's growing fastest than anywhere else in the world.
Absolutely, man. What a great place to be, man. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. You get into, the Port Richey, some of the revitalization up there in Newport Richey downtown. I keep hearing a lot about that. Bradenton, Sarasota. I mean, what a great area. What are you seeing on your side? You've been, and congratulations, 20 years as a Pasco County Commissioner, celebrating your 20th year this time.
Yes, thank you. It's been a great run. I'm running again, but it's been very fulfilling, and it's unbelievable. It's actually 20 years. Can't believe it.
It flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah. But things are growing. The city of Newport Richey is doing a good job with all their stuff. New signage out front to kind of highlight the properties, but the business community have just come alive in there. And that place they have Egret's right down the street from it. great place to be.
Yeah, what a great property, man. I love that property there. So tell us a little bit about one of the challenges that we hear, and I hear different people talking about it. Of course, being in real estate, my wife and I love, the transactions happening and, commissions flowing, things like that. But there's also these social media memes that you see out there. It says, "We fool," it has the state of Florida with the flamingos and and the oranges and things like that. But it says, "We fool." What's your thoughts around that? Because, you look at the sustainability, the water, the strain on the resources. How close are we to being full?
Well, I tell you, we've still got more room to grow. Tampa Bay Water does a good job with the region working all together, which has been a phenomenal model organization for the whole nation to study how to work water in an area. There's still more water out there. There's still preventions that we can do. There's minimization as far as use, conservation methods we're working on. But as far as the growth goes, with Pasco, we're trying to keep a good handle on it. We're actually number one commercially in the nation as far as commercial growth, number three residentially. Wow. So we're trying to keep the balance of getting all the good stuff, because so long we've been a bedroom community. Now we've actually put some big impetus as far as like having businesses here so people don't have to commute as far. That's why we kind of watch out for that live local thing that was out there to give apartments a 75% tax break, and that throws the burden on the rest of the people. So we're trying to keep a good balance, work with our legislators, and try to make them understand how important it is to create jobs in the state.
Yeah, create jobs. That's been a resounding message over the years as we spoke, and some of the the different listings I've had in the area. It's making sure you have the balance of industrial and retail, and of course residential living. Talk to me about that. How do you manage that? How does you and your fellow county commissioners in Pasco County, how do you manage that?
Well, we put a strategic plan in place years ago about how to make a Pasco a premier place and the things we need to do. We knew we need to create jobs and wanted to create them at the right places. You want to have certain growth come in. High-end residential growth pays for itself, no matter what other people may tell you. So high-end is where the higher executives want to live. That's where we're going to bring the companies from. So it's important to keep that balance. Apartments, I think we permitted more than we needed to. I voted against a few just because it was like wrong spot, wrong place. But I did vote for some of them because they were the right spot at the right place. So finding that balance is tricky. The board talks about it quite a bit. And I think we got a pretty good balance to where we're heading for the future after just hearing our constitutionals do their presentations and find out where we need to really focus.
Yeah, we're talking with Pasco County Commissioner Jack Mariano here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. And Jack, what do you see Pasco looking like in the next 5 to 10 years? What are we looking like up there?
I think we're going to see a bit more density, but I think you're going to see a lot more activities for people to do. The Wiregrass Sports Ranch, County took it over last year, and the numbers through what we generate from sports terms is going through the roof. The expectations we had from years ago. Our own staff team working with Parks and Rec is putting it together, so our locals get to use it Monday through Thursday, and they bring an event after event on the weekends. And even when they can't fill them out, they'll try to do regional events. So people from Tampa, Pinellas, etc., they can all come in and play there instead of traveling far away. They can travel here locally, which the more they stay local, the better it is for us too.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about the sports tourism. I hear more and more about the sports tourism and things happening up in Pasco County, and there's a lot there already, but you've got plans for future growth and events as well.
Yeah, matter of fact, that people come to Pasco County. 70% of the people come to visit family and friends. So we try to make other activities out there where people can go enjoy. This coming year, from July 19th, every Friday and Saturday, we're going to have a Scallop Fest. We're going to have great bands, great music. Every Saturday we'll have fireworks, and we're going to make that free for the community. We're almost have enough donations so far to put it all together. We got people like Advent Health with Lacucci, Sunwest Harbortown, the Sports Coast as well, all contributing. So when people come up for 40 days of scalping, which we got this year from the legislature, now they get things to do while they're here.
Yeah.
So the more you can make it beneficial, the more chance they come back and have a good time while they're here and tell their more friends about it.
Yeah, I'm a Freedom Boat Club member, so I want to get up there and do some scalloping, and I have not done it. Being a country boy from South Florida, you'd think I might have done some scalloping before, but yeah, I hear it's a great time.
Yeah, I fought for it probably 10 years ago to try to get it done. I wasn't able to get it done to open the season up from Pasco County. Then Commissioner Mike Wells is now a property appraiser. He's actually a boating captain, so he was up there and got a 10-day season. For 3 years, we kept the data, looked at it. I looked at the data, and I said, we outperformed Citrus and Hernando. We should be able to get 60 days as well. So we came back with 30, negotiated on 37. And this year, because the counts were so strong, Fish and Wildlife felt comfortable giving us a 40-day season, which I thought was great. And we took that, and we're very happy with it. We moved it back from 4th of July because that weekend there, the boaters that are out there is absolutely crazy.
Right.
So we're going to start July 10th. That lets Fish and Wildlife, Pasco Sheriff's deputies kind of recover for a couple of days, and then we'll get back into 40 days of great season coming up.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So starting July 10th, 40 days of scallop season.
Yes.
And that's all off the coast of Pasco County.
All of Pasco County. It's going to be great.
Very cool. Yeah, I like that, man. That's awesome. And let's look at also, you talked a little bit about permitting through the county, and are you able to implement now artificial intelligence in some of the technology side?
Yes, I want to tell you, our new county administrator has been there for about a year now, year and a half. Mike Carbelli's been doing a phenomenal job. He's worked his way up through the organization, local guy, put a team together, and he keeps on improving that team. They kind of like went with permitting and kind of said, this is what we need to do, put a good team together with management to make it happen. And one of the things we did was we brought in artificial intelligence. Very bright person, a graduate from University of Florida, Sabrina Dugan. Something you should bring on the show at some point in time. What she has done for us, we took permitting for MPUDs from like 67 days down to 24.
Wow.
And it was something we struggled with for a long time. So we're using that same technology almost everywhere else and going to get better and better at it. And we're trying to share this information so that everybody else uses it too. Because my thought is, if we as a state grow and the counties grow one by one, we can get better, make this a better place to be. And then it radiates through the nation. And by the way, NACO's coming here for the first time to Florida, coming up in July. I want the state to do better. I want the country to do better so that all the tides lift up and America just gets stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I love it. And you mentioned NACO.
NACO, National Association of Counties.
Okay, National Association of Counties. Got it. Okay. And prior to that, you had talked about PUD. I think that's Planned Unit Development.
Yes, Planned Unit Development. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, try to break it down for the listeners. I'm in real estate, so I get it. But yeah, so when you think about Planned Unit Development and this new permitting process, what's the benefits of that? So it's a faster turn time for developers and less kind of projects in the middle of disarray for the consumers out there. Exactly.
Now we have time frames we try to work with, et cetera. But when you can shorten up the time frame it takes to get a building permitted, and that surety gets out there to the industry says, look, we can go invest in this community because we know we can process our money quicker, get our projects done quicker, to get a better return on investment for our investors. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
Right. Yeah. You're not tying up the investors' dollars as long. You got time value of money, which is a major player, in that configuration of where we're going to deploy our assets. We have a really cool friend of the show, Fred Mew, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and he talks a little bit about the differences sometimes of trying to get his screen rooms and the lanai, the pool cages, approved in certain counties. He says, he talks about that from time to time. So I'll have to ask him about that next time when he's talking about Pasco County.
Yeah, them aluminum guys can be tough sometimes, but I'll tell you what, they got good points. They're great businessmen. They want to make things happen for their people. And I think the whole county's got a motion to go, let's go take care of the consumer. Let's find a way to get this done and get it through quicker. And again, with our upper management leading the way, it's been showing some great results.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming back, we're going to talk more with Commissioner Jack Mariano here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Pasco County, all things Pasco County here on the first half of the show. Coming up, Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney as well. Going to get into some of the the Trump cases and Daniel Penny and the unfair treatment, the dual standards of justice that we're seeing in the country later on with Anthony Rickman here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to follow you back as well at Brandon Rhymes 1 at CQB Show, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rumble channel, and podcast. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite, sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in any marketplace. And we love to help you on your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, or investing, of course, we would love to talk to you. Certified negotiation expert, helping you negotiate the best deal. And, you know, it's interesting right now when you look at the real estate market because it's actually a good time to buy and a good time to sell. And I was talking to a radio caller the other day, and actually yesterday, and she said, you know, hey, here's her situation. And I said, you know, it is a good time for both. And how can that be? I said, well, if you look at interest rates and you look at the historical averages, rates are still fair. You know, they're still in a fair range. Hopefully they don't get up above 8%. And then if you look at sellers, a lot of times right now we're having record number price drops across the entire MLS board. So prices are coming down. People are able to negotiate really good deals right now. So we can help you with that. 813 let's go to the 727 line, 263-3707, buying, selling, or investing, 727-263-3707. That's the hotline. Of course, any connections you want in the Tampa Bay area, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, home service providers, self-defense experts, 727-263-3707. Call or text, as well as consumerqb.com. You can visit consumerqb.com. Quick shout out to our friend at Lawn Anglers. This is Adam Long. He's our lawn maintenance expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All things lawn maintenance, landscaping, mulching, tree trimming, yard cleanouts. Reach out to Adam Long at Lawn Anglers. Does a great job on our real estate properties. All right, a couple of hot listings, and we'll get right back into the conversation with Commissioner Jack Mariano here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 3100 Mildred Drive. This is a gorgeous single-family home on a canal with access to Lake Tarpon. Beautiful property, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 plus square foot single-family home. You have a beautiful enclosed front porch, and the back porch is really awesome as well. It's actually a sunroom, rather, with a lot of windows. You're taking in that beautiful water view right on the canal. So bring your boat, bring your jet skis, and enjoy that Florida living, that Florida lifestyle to the fullest at 3100 Mildred Drive, Palm Harbor, Florida. Also, 64414 4th Palm Point. This is a $1.7 million listing over in Pinellas County. This one is a gorgeous waterfront home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2280 square feet. Stunning views of Boca Ciega Bay. You have your own private boat lift, boat dock, private pool in your backyard, and just a gorgeous property. And you have hurricane-rated windows as well. 75 feet of frontage right on Boca Ciega Bay. 64414 4th Palm Point in St. Pete Beach, and you can see all of our listings at platinumcoastalelite.com. All right, so we're talking with Commissioner Jack Mariano, Pasco County Commissioner Jack Mariano here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Alex, I'm loving this new mic setup, man. We got the setup here. We're going to have a little bit of a twist to our show going forward. But yeah, I'm loving the setup, and the team at Salem does a great job here.
Yeah, man, pretty cool. Plot twist. I can pop in like a ninja now whenever and be on the mic and on the camera and stuff. So listeners and watchers, beware, I'm lurking.
Right on. He's there. He's there. And he also jumps in when I can't think of a word. Isn't it funny how when you're on the radio, it's like, wait, that's a word I say all the time. I just can't think of the word. And Alex is right there with it, man. He's like, nah, that's what it was.
You're my boy, man. I always have your back. I'm your wingman. I'll jump in and play backup whenever, bro.
That's right. That's right. So you have a former life also in as a hero, a local, I call them heroes, and servicemen and women out there. And you had a question for Jack as well.
Yeah, so a lot of the listeners know already. Jack, first off, a pleasure meeting you, man. I'm loving everything you have to say, and I, as a former fire medic, not with Pasco County, but I have a lot of friends that are good old boys over there in Pasco County that are firemen, and I love what you guys are doing. My understanding is that I'm aware of. You guys are the first ones to start entering a D shift, because for those that don't know, the normal rotation for firemen is you work 24 on, 48 off, and then depending on where you work, every couple of weeks you get a Kelly day or a rest day. You get an extra day off. But my understanding is you guys are implementing an extra shift, which then does what? It's going to give the guys 3 days off.
One day on, 3 days off, and it should be phenomenal. Right now, the response has been incredible because nowhere has anyone done it. And if you factor in the amount of time that you'll spend on paying overtime, the net cost is really not much, if anything at all.
Yeah.
And the better service that people get, better response times, better performance, happier people.
Yeah.
It's great for the firefighters. And I'll tell you what, over the years when we first started there, the conditions were kind of weak for the firefighters. Now they're like stellar.
Yeah.
The safety precautions we put in place, cleaning the uniforms, giving them a hot zone where they can change out of their clothes, go into a private area, and then they go into the area where they live. Instead of carrying those chemicals around through them,
yes,
they live a much better, peaceful life.
All the carcinogens and everything.
All the carcinogens are gone away and protected.
Nice.
Matter of fact, we just reopened one stop over in Land O'Lakes where we actually put our cleaning department right there as well.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome that you guys are doing that. And then so now they'll get the extra day off. It's more cost effective. Those guys are going to be healthier because they're more rested as well. Because let's be real, as someone that has worked a 24-hour shift, that first day off, you're still recovering. Right. And then when you finally get some normal sleep as a human being, or try to sleep like a human being, you're right back at it again the next day.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing. So thank you for doing that for all the boys out there.
It's my pleasure. Chief Perez, he's come on. He's gave some great energy. JJ Murphy has just come in, doing a phenomenal job for us as well. When I look at the cooperation with the union, getting things done, finding out what they want, how do we try to make it happen? Because you got to stay within budgets too.
Sure.
But I'm very, very pleased with the job they've done and what we're able to do for them for the future.
It's a team effort, man. It takes both sides too. You got to come to agreements and terms and what's realistic and what can be accomplished. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting days.
Yeah.
I like it. One final thought here too before our time is up. Water quality. Talk to me about what you're seeing in the water quality space.
A lot of great things. One of the reasons where Fish and Wildlife was so responsive to us and give us extra help, we told them we're working on water quality. We're doing like canal restoration up and down the coast. We're trying to put baffle boxes in, which is a treatment where it takes sediments from going into the bay. It keeps them from going there. So you hold them. You take a Vector truck that comes in later on, sucks it all out. So the water gets released into the Gulf is cleaner.
Right.
We're also working with NOAA. We're the first county to get a grant implemented. We're actually put like a water trap where water flows down. It collects the trash ahead of time. They clean it out once a month. They study what the trash is to find out how do we prevent this from happening.
Yeah. But
they clean it out from keeping it going into the Gulf, makes it cleaner and purer. And right now, great news. Regional planning, Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council was very, very helpful in working with the estuary program, which is a subset of the organization, to actually add in a baffle box request for the coast. And it's led for so much success. We got $8.5 million from the feds under Part 2 for the BP Restore Act money. That money now goes in to a fund where we can go clean the water before it gets there. And they've had great success in Tampa doing it and around. But now we can put it along the whole coast and get it federally funded. Wow. So exciting times for water quality.
Yeah, it really is. And shout out to our water quality expert, Fred DeFelice, a longtime friend of the show. He has the system that he puts on the homes, and he does a great job. And it's much better than just the water softeners. The water softeners, a lot of people don't realize, are actually outlawed in a lot of states. So you want to work with Fred DeFelice, waterscience.us, Fred DeFelice, waterscience.us. We only have just about 10 seconds here. Can you give us how do you want people to connect with you?
I tell you, my cell phone number is 727-534-8846. I leave it on. It's my own personal number, but I make that accessible so anybody can get me for any problems. If you want to use email is the greatest way to communicate because I can track a record, follow it up easy.
Yep.
It's the letter J, then Mariano at PascoCountyFL.net. And I got a great team of assistants that we do great citizen follow-up.
Good stuff. Thanks a lot, Jack. Appreciate it. Coming up, Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney right here in Tampa Bay. A crowd favorite, always a crowd favorite. Anthony Rickman coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, helping you win in your real estate deals when you're buying, selling, or investing. And we always feature our real estate listings live on air as well. Quick shout out to our friends at Heights Soft Wash. This is a great company here in Tampa Bay. Ramin Kazami. For all your pressure washing and all of our real estate properties, we recommend Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. Check them out online. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We got some beautiful properties, commercial, residential, vacant land properties as well, available in Tampa Bay. 6901 46th Ave. This one is a property that is just a gorgeous opportunity for a business owner. You have a corner lot location, thousands of vehicles a day passing by. It's a zone mixed use. You have two separate buildings, so one is a residential and one is commercial. So think about if you relocate your business, especially if you're paying a large or exorbitant rent payment on your business, you're able to utilize Andrew QB, our U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. He has a rent replacement program, and you can get 100% financing on a commercial building. This is a great opportunity. Think about that. 6901 46th Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida. Corner lot location, great opportunity. Residential and commercial building. Signage, and it lights up at night as well. Parking, you can park vehicles and trucks there as well. 6901 46th Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida. Another one of our 60-plus listings from the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, 2156 Masters Court, 2156 Masters Court in beautiful Dunedin, Florida. This is a great opportunity as well. This one here is a completely renovated in-unit condo, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 20 square foot condo here, completely remodeled, 7 minutes from downtown Dunedin, 5 minutes to Honeymoon Island, quarter mile from Pinellas Bike Trail, and you also have a community pool. There's a golf club right on site, clubhouse, restaurant, and lounge. 2156 Masters Court, Dunedin, Florida, and you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, Anthony Rickman back in studio, criminal defense attorney here in Tampa Bay. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me back. It's great to see you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming in. Let's start off with a little bit of local news and just kind of a reminder. You're helping folks here locally with any kind of criminal defense matters ranging from DUIs, manslaughter, murder, et cetera.
Yeah, so my law firm is a criminal defense law firm. We handle all types of cases ranging from DUI to felony murder to homicide to DUI manslaughter, leaving the scene with death, vehicular homicide, all types of criminal cases. My firm also represents victims, so people have been victimized in cases. Under Florida, we have something called Marcy's Law. So if you're the victim of a crime, you have the right to counsel. So not only do we represent people accused of crimes, we also represent people who are victims of crimes. Myself and my team, we're all former prosecutors. So we know the courtroom very well, doing this for over 18 years on the defense side. And throughout my career, I've handled all types of cases. Started as a prosecutor, worked my way through. Been in criminal defense for a long time. So with my law firm, we have a lot of experience, and my team of attorneys handle all types of cases.
Talk a little bit about your team. I don't think over the years we've asked you much about your team. Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, so currently I have myself. I've been Rickman Law Firm for 7 years. Prior to that, I worked in a private practice, another law firm, and then was a prosecutor. On my team, I have a former prosecutor named Nicholas Glantz. He was a prosecutor in Hillsborough County, was a what they call a deputy chief, which means he was second in charge to an entire division at the state attorney's office. Handled all types of cases, homicides, DUIs. He was actually a supervisor of DUI, certified in DNA, toxicology, all types of cases that Nick handles. I recently brought on Sarah Hammond. Sarah was a prosecutor over in Pinellas County. My experience is good to have attorneys who know the jurisdiction. I practice in Pinellas County and Hillsborough County as well, but Sarah was a prosecutor in Pinellas, prosecutor in South Florida. She handled a wide array of cases as a prosecutor, including a lot of sexual offenses, sexual crimes. Now, as part of my team, she's doing all types of major crimes as well as misdemeanors, all types of cases. So with my team, you get the experience of all of us. You don't just get me when you hire my law firm. You get myself, you get Sarah, you get Nick, you get combined experience across the board. All of us have handled every type of case, ranging from simple DUI to first-degree murder. and we do great things for our clients. We get great results for our clients because we work hard. We know the law. We know our cases, and we care. You know, when you come to my firm, you're not just a client paying a lawyer. When you come to my firm, you get that personal attention, you get that personal care, and you get a great result. Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Anthony Rickman here, criminal defense attorney in Tampa Bay. How important is it also to have a really good investigator, private investigator? It's extremely important. You know, I have an investigator on my team. Not a lot of law firms have investigators on staff, and for me, I do. So when a client comes to me and they tell me X, Y, Z happened, we're on the field. We're in the field. I'm going out myself. My investigator is going out with me. We're reconstructing a crash, for instance, on a DUI manslaughter or vehicular homicide. A lot of times I'm out on the crime scene and there's still debris. There's still evidence that we can piece together. Prior to trial, I always go out with my investigator. We walk the scene. If it's a homicide case, we get the weapons. We do what we need to do to put ourselves in the shoes of our client, what they're feeling, what they're reliving. It's especially important on a case involving self-defense. Mm-hmm. You know, I have a lot of self-defense cases that my clients are charged with attempted murder or homicide. And in self-defense cases, a lot of times we want to sit in that car if they came to a car to know the angles, know the trajectory. I had a trial where my client was accused of killing somebody with an AR-15. I got the same exact gun, the same exact stock, got the same vehicle, and knew based upon my reconstruction with my investigator how this gun could have been operated, how it was fired. When the prosecutor got there in cross-examination, they had no clue of the things that we were able to do in our investigation to show them that their theory of prosecution was wrong, and the evidence supported our theory of self-defense. And ultimately, my client was acquitted. Wow! So it's very important, very early to get an investigator out, and especially with my firm, we have that in-house where, on a sexual allegation, on an allegation of any sort, where one person's saying something, we send an investigator out, we have a neighborhood canvas. They're going to go out and look for surveillance video. They're going to talk to witnesses. Right. Do a lot of things that law enforcement, quite frankly, doesn't do. Right. Because what I see is that law enforcement, a lot of times they jump to conclusions. Yes. They say, this is what we believe happened. They construct their theory based upon what they think as opposed to what the evidence shows. Right. And a lot of times without having a good investigator to go out there and gather that evidence, it's going to spoil. No one's going to get it. And we get that early, and we use it to our defense from the beginning. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. You're making assumptions, and a lot of it may be due to budgeting and things of that nature, and just trying to move on to the next case or the next call. Yep. So I completely understand what you're saying there. Now, also, I saw on the news here locally. I like to watch some of the local news just to see what's happening in our own backyard. I do listen to national politics, which we're going to get to that as well, with President Trump being on trial in the probably the worst display. I mean, he's one of the most persecuted men since Jesus Christ himself. I mean, this is disgusting what's happening in our country. So I'm going to table that for right now for national news. But locally, the gentleman that Governor DeSantis removed, the district, I think it was the district attorney here in Hillsborough. What's the latest on that case? So Governor DeSantis removed him a couple years ago, and after his removal, he appointed Susie Lopez. And Susie Lopez has been our sitting state attorney since Andrew Warren was suspended from office. And Susie, in my experience, has done an excellent job as a state attorney. She has come in, she has a great deal of support from law enforcement. She has put in to retain the office that she was appointed to by the governor. Initially, Andrew Warren said he wasn't going to run for re-election, and just recently he put in indicating that he is running for election for this position. So we are going to have a contested state attorney race here in Hillsborough County. And what you're going to have is, Andrew Warren, who's already posturing himself as really, this is Andrew Warren versus Ron DeSantis. Yeah. That's the way the media is playing this. Because obviously DeSantis removed him from office.
Was he justified in his removal from office?
That's up to the courts. Right now, the courts are saying no. The courts are saying that that actual ultimate opinion remains to be seen. Okay. If you ask Andrew Warren, yes, he was justified. He was unjustly removed. If you ask Ron DeSantis, if you ask other people in law enforcement, that the removal is justified because they're claiming that Warren failed to uphold the law, failed to enforce the law. Warren, on the other hand, is saying that you're removing me for free speech because I said I'm not going to prosecute abortion cases for doctors or mothers who have abortions. I'm not going to do these type of things, but those cases never actually came to fruition. Okay. So in reality, it becomes, what is the role of a prosecutor? Is he neglecting or in dereliction of his duty for not handling these type of cases, or saying you're not going to prosecute them? Can he be removed for that? Ultimately, the court said, that we know now, the court said he can't be removed for those things, but it was outside of the purview of the court to reinstate him. Got it. Recently, the appellate court said, well, actually, you could reinstate him, and now that issue is still pending.
Okay.
In the meantime, Warren is put back in to run for the office that DeSantis removed from, and ultimately we're going to see a very contested race that's going to generate a lot of national and local attention just because of the fact that we have, DeSantis making such a stance against Warren initially.
Yeah.
And the way it's posturing now, it's Warren's running against DeSantis. He's not running against Susie Lopez.
Right.
Because in reality, Susie came in and she's done an excellent job. I don't think anyone could say anything different. She has been visible. She's been vocal. She's done an excellent job, in what she has, in reducing crime and in fighting crime. And her office has done a great job. At the end of the day, DeSantis you have that elephant in the room, right? You have DeSantis versus Warren, but really it shouldn't be about that. It should be Warren versus Lopez. And when you see, what Susie does, it's going to go up to the voters.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Okay. Let's switch to national news. I'll start with a clip here from a podcast I listened to. I believe it's Morning Wire.
6 jurors were selected for Donald Trump's hush money trial in Manhattan on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Alvin Bragg, the district attorney behind the case, is coming under even more scrutiny. His aggressive prosecution of the former president has been contrasted with his past record of downgrading crimes.
Yeah, let's be clear. If you look up tough on crime in the dictionary, you're not going to find a picture of Alvin Bragg. This is a district attorney who in 2022 downgraded over 50% of felony charges to misdemeanors, including even violent offenses. Obviously, crime has been a pressing issue in Gotham with Governor Kathy Hochul recently.
I'm going to pause it there just for time's sake. But, yeah, you look at – and the question I have, too, is how are a lot of these guys, these people going against Trump, how are they millionaires sitting at a government position? They're multimillionaires, a lot of these people.
I never thought in our world we would see this. Right? You see this in third world countries.
Yeah.
You see this in Italy and other countries where they're going after leaders for political reasons.
Yep.
We have a New York Attorney General, a New York District Attorney, who ran on, I'm going to get Donald Trump.
Yep.
He didn't run on, I'm going to stop people stabbing people in the subway. He didn't run on, I'm going to stop reducing crime or get rid of migrants who shouldn't be here in the first place. No, he ran on prosecuting the President of the United States.
Yep.
And now he's doing exactly what he said on a case that the federal government refused to pick up in 2017. They ditched it. A case that legally, when you hear legal scholars, when you hear people talk about it, really there isn't much merit to the case.
Yeah.
And a case now that really has been brought against a former president that's being rushed to trial to get it done before the election. And by the way, we're going to take him out of being able to campaign for at least the next 2 months because I'm required to be in court on a criminal case.
Yep.
It is preposterous to think this is the country we live in now.
It really is.
And regardless of your political affiliation,
Yep.
it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. When you see it from a purely legal perspective,
Yep.
you can clearly see what's going on here.
Yep.
And it's sad. And because we have one party in power today, what's going to happen when the other party's in power? What type of chilling effect are we having? That you're using our criminal justice system, our legal system,
Yep.
for political gains to attack a political opponent. Look, Stephen A. Smith was on the radio the other day, and he is no Republican, right?
Right.
He was saying that the optics of this show exactly what it shows.
Yeah.
We can't beat you at the polls,
Yep.
so we're going to throw you in prison.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like, and really that's what it is.
Yep.
Before we even get to trial, we're going to have a mini trial next week on contempt because Trump is not even allowed to defend himself in the court of public opinion.
Right.
As an attorney, I do a lot of media. Obviously, I'm here with you.
Yep.
In Florida, we have an obligation to not just represent our clients in a court of law, but also in a court of public opinion.
Right.
And in this case, because of the gag orders that are placed on Donald Trump, he can't even talk and defend himself in a court of public opinion.
It's ridiculous.
You have right now a contempt hearing that's pending against him because he is defending himself on Truth Social. He's saying that Cohen's a liar. He's saying that the system is corrupt.
Yep.
And he's saying, well, I have to say this.
Right.
Because if you look at the mainstream media, you go to CNN, you go to MSNBC, you go to any of their stations,
Yep.
It's all day anti-Trump coverage.
All day. Lies.
And he can't even defend himself. His lawyers can't even defend himself. And traditionally, gag orders, like we have in this case, they're frowned upon in court because defendants do have the First Amendment right to defend himself.
Yeah.
And we talk about because they don't like what Trump says. Oh, he's tampering. What do you see on mainstream media all day long? On Jimmy Kimmel, on Colbert, on all these stations, bashing Trump, calling him a liar, calling him this, calling him that, calling it hush money. But Trump can't defend himself.
Yeah.
and it's really a process.
Yeah, we're going to come back and talk more about that on the other side of this break. More with attorney Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, we're going to flip it also to what they do in these terrible run cities now. Daniel Penny case. It's the complete opposite. He's overcharged for self-defense against a menacing figure. The guy comes on the train yelling all these obscenities. I'm going to kill people. I'm going to go after these people. And he's a military veteran that puts him in a chokehold. And now they have him on his trial for his life. Coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, more with Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. They offer the very best nationwide coverage on 4G and 5G LTE networks and exceptional 100% US-based customer support. Patriot Mobile offers discounts for veterans and first responders, NRA members, and families with multiple lines. Learn more at patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. That's patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can reach out at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. And we'd be happy to tell you more about Patriot Mobile. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to go back with attorney Anthony Rickman here, criminal defense attorney, on this Daniel Penny case and this crazy case in New York. Before we do, a couple of hot listings. 220 Bellevue Boulevard. This is another one of our 60-plus listings from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, property at 220 Bellevue Boulevard. This is Unit 212 in Bel Air, Florida. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You have an exterior balcony, 24-hour gated community, golf cart friendly. Restaurants are in the community as well. Restaurants, fitness center, tennis courts as well. 220 Bellevue Boulevard, Unit 212, Bel Air, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings from the Platinum MVP team. 6020 Shore is another property that we have listed. Great listing. Owners motivated here. 1-bedroom, 1.5-bath, 1170 square feet, 55-plus community in a waterfront paradise. 6020 Shore Boulevard South, Unit 406. And you can see all of our real estate listings online at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, Anthony Rickman, I'm going to play another clip here, and we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about this Daniel Penny case.
Not just regarding Trump, but also Daniel Penny, who many people think was overcharged by Bragg for the choking death of Jordan Neely on a subway car last year. Yeah. Penny faces up to 15 years in prison now for what a lot of people viewed as self-defense against a menacing figure.
Disgusting. I mean, this guy's defending the public, in a sense, by choking the guy out.
Yeah, and look, have New York not had criminals in the streets, not have the ability to get out with no bail, and not have the ability to do the things that Bragg should be doing as a prosecutor, stopping crime, we're not in this situation. And now you have a situation where you have violent, angry people attacking innocent people on the subway. I was in New York last year. My kids aren't riding the subway because of what you see there. Yeah. And what you see there is because of the lawlessness that's created by this prosecutor who's devoted his time and efforts prosecuting the former president for political gain as opposed to prosecuting real criminals. Yep. And you have a case now where a criminal has assaulted, threatened, and endangered a whole bunch of people, innocent people, on that subway. And a man defending himself, now being prosecuted, looking 15 years because he acted in self-defense.
Yeah.
And when you watch the video and you see what happened, you know the backstory. In Florida, I don't think he'd be brought to trial. I think this is a clear case of self-defense.
Absolutely.
What he did was not egregious. He held the man until he felt that the threat was stopped.
Yep.
And he cooperated with law enforcement. He did everything he had to do, and now you have a former member of the military looking at a significant amount of prison time.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Criminals are exalted, and the person like Daniel Penny, a hero, is on trial. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and you talk about that. You talk about Trump. Going back to Trump. You talk about his case. He was indicted in March of last year. Okay, and we're talking about his perspective as a criminal defense attorney.
Mm-hmm.
As a criminal defense attorney, you need time to prepare a case. You don't just snap your fingers and you can go to trial.
Right.
In a case like Trump's case, that is a 2 to 3 year case.
Wow.
And Trump is being forced to try this case in less than a year from almost a year when he's indicted. And the government's still dropping documents.
Yeah.
March of this year, 3 weeks ago, they dropped over 170,000 documents to the federal case on his attorney's lap.
Wow.
Trump's attorney asked for a continuance. Judge says no.
It's crazy.
Trying this case in April. What's the rush? And the only rush is that they want to do this before the election is over.
Yeah.
And that is not what our justice system should be about.
Right.
What is the rush to get it right? Because we're talking about Donald Trump, not the president. Donald Trump, the citizen. Okay? Because Donald Trump is still a citizen of this country.
Yep.
And he still has constitutional rights like any other citizen that I represent in criminal court, or the state attorney's office or the district attorney's office prosecutes in criminal court. And what is the harm of getting it done right, getting it done efficiently, and allowing a fair defense?
Yeah.
We have the right to a speedy trial, but more importantly, we have the right to a fair trial. And for my clients, in my cases, in doing thorough investigation, we talked about earlier about the investigative work that goes into the case, about working the case up the right way. As a defense attorney, when you're defending somebody and fighting for their liberty, their life, their freedom, regardless if they're president of the United States or working or unemployed, it shouldn't matter. Yep. They still have the right to a fair trial. And what you see now, especially in this case against Donald Trump, it does not appear that it's being handled in a fair manner by the government and also by the court.
And it's not like there's not a blatant double standard here as well. If you look at the Biden crime family and you look at the documentations and the recording, the video recordings, the bank statements, the sworn testimony of business partners, it's not like there's nothing else going on that side either.
No, and it shouldn't be like this. We have Lady Justice is blind for a reason.
Yep.
We talk about jury selection. Why is she blind? Because when you walk in that courtroom, you have a blank slate. It shouldn't matter your political affiliation, no matter who you are. If you broke the law should be applied equally.
Yep.
And in this country, we unfortunately do not see it applied equally. And we see it now used as a tool, a political tool, against a guy who was once a president of the United States, who's running for president of the United States.
Prediction: how's this all going to wrap up before November? What's going to happen? Is he going to be in jail? What's going to happen?
Look, it's very hard to say what's going to happen, but I will tell you they're going to do everything they can to silence him, to have him convicted of something, so that at the end of the day they can use it against him.
Yeah, I even heard. I was watching. I flipped through some of the other channels. I don't even want to say the channel, but they're saying, I think it was the publisher of the Atlantic on one of the fake news networks saying, why should Biden debate against someone that's been indicted? Why should he have to debate somebody that's been indicted?
Because half the country
that's their game.
Wants this guy to be president of the United States.
That's their game, though.
And again, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. And Matt, we even talked about jury selection. How are you going to get a fair and impartial jury in New York City?
Exactly.
To hear the case. Today, 2 jurors were dismissed who were once put on the jury.
Yeah.
When you walk into jury selection, it's very hard to get a straight answer from jurors sometimes.
Right.
And they're having to go back and look at social media, do all this research on jurors. And again, in this country, no matter who you are, you are entitled to a fair trial and impartial jury. And as a defense attorney, that's my role as the guardian for my clients to hold the government accountable. And unfortunately, when you see what's happening in New York for the Army civilian, for Donald Trump, it's just not fair.
Yeah, not happening in blue states. At least in a red state, you probably get that. Anthony Rickman, we could go on for 2 or 3 more segments, but we're out of time. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, we had Commissioner Jack Mariano and, of course, Anthony Rickman on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Alex Black Belt Fitness weighing in there as well. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, do something kind for one another, and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.